It's week 11, and the Carolina Panthers host the Washington football team. It's the return of Ron Rivera, but bigger than that, it's the return of Cam Newton. Let's check out Matt Rhule's midweek press conference to see how he expects this team to perform against their former coach and how Cam Newton will perform in his debut or re-debut in the Carolina Panthers jersey. Hang out with me as I react to Matt Rhule's press conference.
I wouldn't say Cam's picking up the playbook. Really, it's more kind of like the game plan. I think there's obviously so many fundamental things within the playbook.
It's so complex. We've seen Joe Brady's offense. It's layered and layered and layered. Not really.
Not many guys have done. Come in and learn.
We're trying to make this offense be about Cam, baby. That's what he's saying.
Some of the things, some of the situational stuff, 2-minute final plays. Those will take some time. So, but I thought Cam did a nice job of practice today. What he's being asked to do is really hard.
Add. See you later. Edit you out.
He has the benefit of having PJ out there who's done it a while, and obviously having Matt Barkley, who's a seasoned pro. So we have a good room right now.
Matt Barkley. Where is Sam Darnold, by the way? His brain won't scrambled. It was his shoulder, but you know what? He's been erased. He's erased like. Do you guys seen Back to the Future where their pictures disappeared? Sam Darnold's picture disappeared.
Typically your quarterback, everything. When something goes wrong on the field, the quarterback has to make it right, and make it right. They need tools, and to use tools, they have to have been through it and learned everything. That being said, Cam's played a lot of football, and so they put a lot of things up, and some things really, probably hit his head easier than others because they've been there for a while. You can see really quickly that he's really a smart guy, and you can see really quickly that he works at it. So
he has. He always be working.
Plays for him, right amount of plays for him. Obviously, we have PJ as well, so there's the right plays for him. And
do they rotate? Do you rotate? That's so complicated, isn't it?
Going, I guess, a truncated part of the playbook. PJ will expect a handful of snaps and kind of a dual quarterback system.
Yeah, I probably won't get into too much game plan wise. I hope you guys can respect that. Like, we're just gonna have both guys ready to play, and
Cam Newton's gonna start.
Just kind of taking it day by day in terms of how much. Obviously today was first and second down. How much
Cam Newton. They
Cam
want
felt
the
good
best.
about how much hit
the
him.
greatest.
It's everyone else too, right? It's not just him. It's Johnny Miller's back practicing again.
Johnny Miller,
yay! There's a lot of guys that are stepping into new roles.
The brand. It's about the brand.
Just trying to put together a game plan. So we'll have both guys ready, and how we use them, I think we'll figure out as the week goes on.
Now you mentioned game plan. How
Wait.
interesting is the
Cam
match this week when you've got Ron and his staff who know Cam so well?
Obviously, Coach Rivera. I can't speak for him, but obviously he's a great head coach, great defensive mind. Jack Del Rio's great defensive mind. They spent a lot of time together, so I'm sure they know things about each other that I.
Who has the advantage, Cam?
I think for
or
us,
Ron?
we're trying to focus on ourselves. We have. Have to find a way to get the ball to Christian.
Self-reflection, baby. That's what I agree. Look in the mirror. The man's in the mirror, as Cam would say.
Tommy and Ian. So I think for us, it's just, hey, who do we have? What are the plays that we like? And, you look at what they did last week. They played a great game against Tampa Bay, and they've evolved a little bit defensively as to who they are as the years go on.
And Tampa Bay lost that game, guys. Come on. They did.
Them losing Chase Young, which, you feel awful about, with Sweat being out. We don't know what they'll do. They might come out and blitz us. They might come out and play zone. We have to just kind
imagine
of
if they blitz,
because there's a lot of unknowns for us getting ready.
Crazy blitzes. You're right, Ron. Don't blitz a lot.
Others practice against that defensive form.
Well, Jack wasn't there. So it's just Del Rio wasn't here. He was.
Did you know that Jack Del Rio literally translates to jack off in the river?
They've gone to more of like
That's
a one
crazy,
high,
isn't it?
different style. When they were here, it seemed like the last year, and you guys would know better than me. It seemed like it was a little bit more of a 3-4 base at the end of last year. So
did
I
not
think
work
when you
well,
get guys
did
like
it, folks?
Coach Rivera, Coach Del Rio, they can coach any defense. They can coach any coverage. So
Except
really, our
for a
players are just
3-4.
focused on their
Not too
job and
bad.
executing. And I think when we do that, we played pretty well.
Matt, you mentioned earlier trying to get a few plays for Cam in the game plan. Is there enough time to get some plays maybe he had just another scheme into your offense?
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
Sorry. You mentioned earlier about just kind of getting plays for Cam as far as the game plan. Is there enough time to get Cam-centric plays that maybe you ran in a different offense into your offense for this week or in the future?
Yeah, and I think to be quite honest, I think most things. Most things.
What do you
Even
think
last
he's
week, I
saying?
mean, we didn't
The
come out
opposite
and say,
of
hey, let's
Darnold
run,
plays,
quarterback
probably.
power. Hey, let's run. We didn't say, hey, let's run zone read. Let's, without having it already in. So we've kind of had some of those things in. Like,
No,
I think I
you
mentioned
didn't
the other day, I
run
think
the
there was a
read
point
option
early in
with
the
no
year where
Sam
had like
Darnold.
4 or 5 touchdowns.
You
in
should
3
have,
games. I can't
maybe.
remember what the number was. So
Cam's the best at it.
We've had some run the quarterback stuff. I think for Cam, it's as much. I mean, he's not just a runner. Obviously, he can throw the football. So it's about finding route concepts that he's familiar with, that he likes. The good thing, as I said, is he's been through so much. So Joe's he's been through so many different offenses. Joe does a good job of if it works, we're going to do it.
How does he do that? Well, how do we even know? We only have such a small
one thing I've
sample
now learned
set,
being in
bro.
the NFL is that there's a lot of similarities, a lot of offenses. He's kind of one group calls it this, one group calls it this, but it's all pretty much the same plays. So a lot of these guys are able to
Terminology.
quickly transition
Imagine how
pictures in their head to
complicated
different
that
words.
terminology is in
And,
the huddle.
Cam's done a nice job.
It's
of that.
like they make it too hard in the NFL. I swear. Could you do it? I couldn't.
Are you ready to say, understanding you get the 2 quarterbacks ready, are you ready to say that Cam is going to start Sunday? Or?
I think we're probably trending that way. To be quite honest with you, I just, I'm not gonna probably pull that trigger till later. But I think that I was
Trending
pretty
that
transparent
way.
today, in terms of we're wanting to push him. I think into that role. I think it's good for our team. But
That's why we brought him here. We paid
we're
him
getting
$10
PJ
million
ready as well,
basically.
and,
We
I
didn't.
think,
I
as
mean, look
said,
at that
I
giant,
think
beautiful man on the
game plan
sidelines.
wise,
You
we
can't just
could-
look
we
at
could see a-
him.
we could see a
Put
myriad of
that
different things
stack in the
I was
game.
going to ask you, after you got the job here, I can't, maybe you answered this last year, I forgot if you did, but did you and Ron ever have like an extended conversation where he said,
Did you guys ever
No, sir.
here's where to get your
have
hair
like
cut"?
group sex?
No,
threesome?
no, I never did. I mean, obviously I
No,
talked to
Ron
on the
don't
field
like
actually before
y'all.
today.
He don't
was
like
great to
you.
me.
He don't like Tepper
Linda
anymore. He's
O'Hara,
mad.
Who was Coach Fox's assistant, and then was Ron's assistant, and then was my assistant before retiring. I think she's been the conduit, for all things. And even now, I still call her when I need something. She's amazing. Not much beyond that. Obviously, I didn't have any history with Coach moving forward, and I was blessed to have Marty here. Marty was amazing to me.
Marty.
I
Amazing.
think sometimes I talk to people about Marty.
Meatball
he's
Marty.
as kind-hearted and wonderful a man as there is. I think he tries to put on a facade sometimes, I think, for people, but Marty's a special person, and I couldn't have dreamed of a better person to be my GM for my first year, because he wasn't too good to walk me through the simplest of things. Like, hey, explain to me what an exclusive rights free agent is, and I really enjoyed my time with him. So, I never really had a chance to talk to Ron beyond that.
I think you said it kind of quickly a little earlier, but would you consider putting John Miller back if he's ready in the starting lineup, or do you like where the line is right now?
I have to really see how John does. He was very limited today. It might be.
Limited. He
this
was
week, it might be
terrible when he
later,
played
next
earlier.
Week. I'm just going to start trying to work Johnny back in. So obviously John's been a starter when he's healthy.
Nah.
He's as powerful and stout.
Actually, they're going to sign him into extension since he's being kind of just tepid on this guy. If he said he was awesome, they'd cut him.
So I think Trent's done a really nice job. So we'll have to make that decision when they come. Right now, we're just kind of running on parallel tracks, getting Trenton ready and getting Johnny back in the fold.
And also, I guess one of the biggest questions about Cam before he signed with the Panthers was where his arm was at. How do you feel based on what you've seen so far?
I've seen no issue with his arm.
No issue. You better not say nothing. What if he said it was busted? That would be sad.
Chemistry in terms of obviously Cam's, kind of like a lightning rod of, energy and
Yes, he is,
He does a great
sir.
job of those things. In terms
We
of,
love
I
him.
think, in terms of
We're lightning
football
struck.
stuff. I mean, I'm always going to be kind of an execution guy. Robbie got open, he made the throw. That chemistry, that innate. Hey, I know where you're going to be. I think that takes time, and I think kind of our hope has been, work Cam in over the next 2 weeks, go on the bye week, and then have the final 5 games of the year with Cam really kind of understanding a good feel for what we do and knowing where
Now we're
guys are going to be.
talking.
So every practice
this
rep
is
just
the
getting us a
cook.
little
This
bit
is a
closer to
playoff
that,
cook
where
right
we
here.
kinda play without
Playoff
thinking,
cook.
which to me is really when greatness comes. So they're starting to build that chemistry. It looks like they certainly have an off the field chemistry, but on the field, I just think it's going to take a little time.
Matt, last week you mentioned, obviously this is the Cam Newton when he was 25. watch his Patriots tape from a year ago, the preseason tape, and now once you see him in practice, considering all that, what are your realistic on-field expectations for Cam?
Just help us go win this game this week. Cam was brought here to help us win.
Win a Super Bowl,
He
bro.
helped us win.
I'm
last
trying to
week,
make my
played
job
8
the
plays, but,
best paid job in the world. Of course, we want Cam to
played,
beat
played
everybody's
good football
ass.
for those 8 plays.
Thank God. What we
I
want to
expect
do
him
is this: is win
just
this game.
Work to become
Actually, that's the right
a guy that
answer.
can help us win week in and week out. And
1 week,
beyond
1
that,
week, and then the next week, and the
that's
next
kind of all I
week, and
expect from all of our
playoffs.
guys. I expect them to
Super
play really
Bowl,
hard, to
Super
prepare really
Bowl.
hard, do their job, and then go out and deliver on Sundays. And Cam did that last week on a 2 days worth of work. Now he has a full
2
week worth
plays.
of work. I expect him to prepare all week and go out and practice hard, and then get to the game and play well. And so. Anything beyond that, I don't really think too much about. I just really kind of think about, hey, this week, and then from there, I think about Christian. I think about Christian for this week, and really, that's always kind of my mindset. That's why you see 1-0 in the building. Like, I just try to stay locked into 1 week at a time.
Joe
So,
Brady's want to know. Do you guys see that Cam Newton font? He wrote that in. He loving Cam.
how much time has he spent in the building? I don't know what time. I don't know the full range of time that he's in and leaves. I know he's here a lot.
First in, last to leave, homie. That's the answer.
Wednesday, yeah. I sat down with him Monday for a good amount of time, just to talk about the game and how he saw things. Yesterday, I didn't sit down with him yesterday. Just kind of, we were, because our game plan day, and then obviously today we've been working all day. So he's going to work with Joe.
I'm
and Sean
exhausted
to
about
learn
this
as much
point.
as he can and get himself as
Tuesday, I need a nap.
ready as he can. But it's kind of the same thing that PJ's doing with those guys and Matt's doing with those guys. So I expect all of our guys to prepare at a really high level.
Was there anything that you learned? You said you sat down with him Monday extensively. Was there anything that you learned that you might not have known?
Let's get rid of this commercial, bro. Oh God, Volkswagen. Who wants to buy?
From that conversation?
No, I just think the thing is like, he's kind of the things I talk about with our guys, of being tough and hardworking and competitive and practicing at a high level and taking accountability and those are all the things that so far he's done. So it's like he's kind of like the personification of the brand and the things that I talk about. So
likeness.
He obviously has a different.
By the way,
process 'cause he's
I've
been
read a
different
lot of
places,
this, what they were talking about
asked him to, hey, come
in this press
just
conference,
do our
and
process, and he's
the media
great about that.
does
As are all
spin
these guys are all
things
pros. They all want to
for the
win.
clicks.
But at the end of the day,
This
when we
is
step on the field,
very
between the White Lions, I
mild
want
response.
guys who go out there like lions and compete at a high level and don't make excuses and don't let other people make them for them, and go out there and compete. And that's what PJ did last week. That's what Christian does, and that's certainly what Cam Newton does. And so,
Stephon Gilmore's not on the injury report. What? Assuming that's a good thing, and what does that mean for his playing time? And
Got hurt in that play.
I think we're just going to keep bumping him up
Looked
every
like his
the
hand
issue
got
is like we
jacked
think
up a
Dante's
little bit.
playing. I mean, Dante played.
Divert,
Dante played his ball game.
divert.
He got beat on one play.
Divert,
and so
divert,
far,
divert.
Threw a pass interference, and I walked up to him and I said, "Hey, it was like 2 plays later. I said, see, like that's what I love about you. Like when we first got here, that might have affected you." And he's like, "Oh, I had bad eyes. That's my fault anyway. I'm not even worried about the official. Like Dante's level of like what's next in his brain and maturity in his brain
He
is
loves
so
him,
elite.
Dante.
He's a competitor.
I like Dante.
And
I'm
you have a
loving
guy
Dante.
that size
Who
that's covering
doesn't
the way he's
at this
covering,
point?
picking balls
Great
off.
season so
but at
far.
the same time, his tackling, I mean, it was really impressive to watch. And so,
So
I got
what
excited
about
to give you the answer. I
Stephon
forgot
Gilmore's
what you asked
injury
me.
again? Homie? You remember?
But so we have a
the
lot of guys
hands?
playing well, right?
Oh,
Keith
look.
Taylor's playing really well. C.J. Henderson, really starting to play well. Melvin was playing well for
Slight
A.J. Boye, can do it all.
hands.
On the field. So we don't need Stephon right now to play 70 plays. So we're just kind of working him back into the the whole fold. But health-wise, he's been good. I think for some of those guys, it's kind of like, hey, get to the bye week, and then maybe some of their play can go up. Shaq, we tried to limit his play the last couple of weeks, and then we kind of turned him loose. A big thing in this game on Sunday was having Burris out there. He's the veteran in the secondary. Sometimes when he's not out there, you got a bunch
He
of
has
guys
made
out
a big
there, and
difference to this
safety, you have to make
team
a lot of calls,
when he's
and
been
Justin
there.
is
The
out
problem
there.
is he's missed
lot
a
good
ton
things
of
have happened to
games.
us in terms of our depth.
You spoke a lot about the energy that Cam brings to games and practices.
Pump, pump.
Having seen it now for a couple of days, how apparent is that energy and how different is the feel in practice?
I spoke a lot about his energy. Or you're saying?
Ooh, get him.
Yeah, I'm not super like we have really good energy at practice. Like, we practice fast. The thing that Cam brings to me is he brings like execution. he threw first 2 plays, he touched the ball, he scored touchdowns. Like, that's like a movie. Like I mean, I sat there and I couldn't believe that happened. So yeah, does he bring energy? I just don't want to diminish his on the field play, if that makes sense. Like, yes, he's walking around the locker room, he's fun to be around, he's yelling, he's screaming, he's smacked me in the middle of the game one time. Like,
how do we feel about Matt Rhule?
But at the end of the day, as he'll be the first to take
he's
all that's for
cool,
naught if he
and
doesn't
it's
play well.
kinda,
We don't play well, so he gets that. Like,
he's
the thing that
getting
he
it.
said to me, and going back to Vashti's question, is like, it's all about winning. Like, that's to me, he's like, Coach, it's all about winning.
And he's like,
the
thank
standard is a
Jesus.
standard. And
Thank you for keeping my job.
I'm the old coach that gets up and talks about standards all the
Hug
time.
him.
Everyone's like, all right, yeah, I got it. Cool. Well, you got a guy now who's saying, hey, guys, like, this is how I see it. Now you got Christian who believes in that, and Taylor, so I got enough guys that believe in standards, and winning is the only thing that matters, that it helps. So the energy's
Imagine
awesome.
finding a
I don't mean
football
to
player
diminish it. I
that
just
thought
love the fact
that
that
winning wasn't
like
cool, though.
he's on the practice field, and he throws his last ball of each period, he turns and runs down, and runs the lap and comes back. Like, those are things
Because
that
he's the
pros do.
man,
So
homie.
it's way more to me about
He
the
works
example
harder than
being set in terms
everybody.
of preparation, practice, accountability, all those things. I just,
He's
we
the
all understand
brand.
Cam is like a force of nature almost, in terms of like
True.
the things that he
True.
brings.
Love
but
it.
I don't want that to be all that people realize. Like, because I'm only knowing him a short time. What I see is a true professional that wants to win, that puts the time in. That all he said to me is, "Hey, hold me accountable. If I'm not dropping the way you want, then tell me to drop." Like, that's all he wants, and that's what Christian McCaffrey runs a play. He's the first
Pros,
guy.
pros,
Like, that's
pros,
the cut,
pros.
how'd you see it? Da, 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 da.
Pros,
And I say all that
pros.
because a lot of young players out there in the world, and sometimes we bring in here, that they're very defensive. Like, why are you coaching me like this? Well, the 2 of the best guys in the
I guess
history of
we are
football
sensitive.
are
Don't
out
talk
here
about
saying,
my
"Hey,
YouTube
coach
channel.
me."
You better
So
not talk about my
that's the message I want
interpretation,
about
folks.
Cam. This is
Better
like
not be
this,
talking about
I don't
my
know,
reactions.
I don't know Cam
I
before.
am
I know the
sensitive.
Cam I know right now.
Professor's
Wants to
sensitive.
win and wants to be good and wants to help make this team a good team. And so all the other stuff is fun. It's gravy. It's all that. Like, the I'm back was for one time I can live with it. But you
One
have to get in
time
the
you
end zone
can
to do
live
those
with it,
things, and I
homie.
think he gets that.
Why
and
did
I
he get
that. I
fined?
hope
Because he
everyone
was
gets that.
yelling
Like,
at
it's
a
all about
crowd? Is that
football,
what it?
and,
Or not fined, but
he's gonna help
penalized?
us get the football better.
What was your reaction when Dave, go ahead.
Come on, Dave.
You've been trying to get the special teams personnel right all season.
Ooh,
Can you
this
just talk
is
about
Chris
the impact
Jenkins.
Zane Gonzalez has had, been
Chris
player of the
Jenkins,
week twice
man of
this
the people.
season for you guys?
Yeah, and I don't, I think we got it right, to be quite honest. I mean, I know early on we had to make some moves and all that, and then obviously Joey getting hurt stunk, right? But, I think Zane has been at a point now where it's like, I can put a guy out there to kick a 52-yard without thinking a lot about it. If you go back to the first game of the year, I think I punted from the 32 or 33-yard line, right? So did whatever it took to pin the defense down, and now I can kick that ball. So it just gives me way more flexibility. People talk a lot about, like, going for on fourth down and game management decisions. They put a lot of analytics and probabilities up, and all those are based off of, like, the median team in the National Football League. And if you have a team that can get that yard, you go for it. If you have a team that you don't think you can get that yard, you probably shouldn't go for it. And if you think you can make that kick, then you kick it. And so for me, the decision-making matrix has gotten way easier because I'm like, shoot, let's kick it. I feel
Give
good
it
about his
insane.
chances of
It's
making pretty much
insane
every
in the
kick. And more importantly, I
membrane.
love his demeanor. If he misses a kick, I'm not worried. Like, is this going to put him in the tank?
He ain't
And
missed
the
a
things he's
kick
done
in
kicking
16
off.
kicks.
Early in the year, we first
You
got him. The
don't-
ball was
of
being
course
kicked
his
to the 5.
demeanor looks good.
They return the ball back on us, right? Now the ball's through the end zone pretty much every time, unless we deem, hey, let's kick it. Even after that penalty the other day, he kicked the ball from the 20, and we got the ball all the way down there and tackled him at the 30. So he's done a really nice job. And to your point, I think
It's
he's had,
insane.
I think this year,
Insane.
3 holders. I think that's what it's been, right? Lachlan has really, I think, done a nice job coming in there and
Laura
learning
Lachlan?
our system, punting. And
I thought
holding
she
for
was
us.
in
So
jail.
I think Chase, I think Ed Foley, I think Mike Cyphers. They've
Paying for her kids'
They've kind of dealt some,
SATs.
interesting things that have happened and different things, and having to bring guys in. But they've coached the guys, and that's what a coach's job is. It's not to figure out the personnel; it's to coach the
Kick
guys.
that
They've coached
ball
the guys,
as hard
and
as you
I think
fucking
Zane's,
can, Zane. That's
excellent.
my
And,
coaching advice.
I told him on the field, everyone's hugging him because he got an NFC Player of the Week. I said everybody loves a kicker as long as he makes his kicks. So,
I know. I hug you all week.
Zane, and that's what's great about Zane, man. He's a
Zane.
football guy.
In
He's not
Zane
just
that we
a
love you.
specialist. Like, he's part
In
of the
Zane.
team, and he's done a nice job.
Thanks, Coach.
About him before from that conversation?
That's Matt Rhule, midweeker, heading into that's Matt Rhule. That is your coach, folks. Week 11, preparing for the Washington football team. Tony Dunn here with the C3 Panthers podcast every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Check us out. Longest running Panthers podcast. Jump up in the conversation. Leave a comment for this video if you like it. Tell me if my commentary's off. Tell me if you love Matt Rhule. And tell me in the comments who's going to win this game. Because that would be insane if we lost it. Because we're going to win this mug. Cam Newton. Cam. Get in the comments. Tell me what the score is. See you on Tuesday night, 9 p.m.